Good morning. It's Saturday morning. I hope you've all had a good week. Hopefully if your kids gone back to school, or perhaps if you've gone back to work, hope you've had a good week. And it's a Saturday and I hope you've got a good weekend planned. So today's reading, we are almost halfway through now the book of Mark. And we are chapter 8 and verses 14 to 21. Now I'm not going to read them to you. I am going to put them in the comments afterwards, so please read them afterwards. So we are looking at these, and you had Meg yesterday, and it was the feeding of the 4,000. So Jesus has already fed 5,000. And then yesterday, Meg was talking about how he fed the 4,000. Now the Pharisees, these are the religious law people. These are the ones who are in the temple and are making sure that the Jews are keeping to the law of the law of God and things like that. And they, obviously, we know they've had trouble with Jesus from the start. And they are testing Jesus, and they said to Jesus in the end of the passage yesterday, they said, give us a sign from heaven. If you're the Son of God, give us a sign from heaven. And then Jesus' disciples today in the passage, they are starting to grumble a bit about food. It's a thing that I grumble about the most, to be honest. When I'm hungry, I'm quite grumpy. And these are grumbling over food. And Jesus is like, what are you mumbling about? What is your problem? And he says, don't you remember? And he brings up the feeding of the 5,000. And he said, how many people did I feed? And how much food was left over? How much bread was left over? And then he said about the 4,000. And he said, well, how many baskets were left over there? And they answered the question. There was 12 baskets left over in the feeding of the 5,000. There was 7 left over in the passage yesterday. And Jesus was like, you still don't get it. And I think the disciples here, not just the disciples, but the Pharisees as well, and the people of the time, the Pharisees were asking Jesus for a sign from heaven. They were like, come on then, prove it. Give us a sign. Show us you are who, you are the Son of God. You are the promised Messiah. Because remember, they weren't expecting this man, like just ordinary man like Jesus. They were expecting like a big warrior type guy, I expect. And so Jesus wasn't what they were expecting. So they were like, well, prove it then. Show us a sign. And the disciples are grumbling as well. Jesus was like, but I did this and I did that. Why do you still not get it? And I think even today, all of us, Christians and non-Christians alike, whether you believe in God or not, whether you identify as a Christian or if you don't, I think at some point in our lives, and Christians more than one point in our lives, we sort of say to God, well, if this is what you want me to do, give me a sign. And then we kind of go, no, that's not a sign. No, that's not a sign. Or we don't even see it sometimes because we're expecting one thing and perhaps God sends us something else. And then we're like, nah. And Jesus even says, can you see with your 2 good eyes? And can you hear with your 2 good ears? Are we paying attention? Are we seeing? Are we listening to what God is saying to us? These signs that we're asking for. I mean, the Pharisees were asking for these signs, and there was Jesus. Jesus was there doing these miracles. And he was like, don't you get it? Don't you understand what you're seeing? And they just weren't. They just weren't, whether they were purposely, do it on purpose. They were like, no, that's definitely not it. Or whether they actually just didn't get it at all. And I think we're all guilty of that. We all kind of ask for signs from God, whether, is this the job that I should be doing? And, is this where I should be moving? Is this what I should be doing with my life? And God sends us signs, but are we paying attention? are we seeing? Are we listening to God? Or are we just blinkered, that we are just focused and just looking for this one thing that we think that God should be sending us? And they were looking at Jesus and they were not seeing who he was because they were looking for something else. And we're not faced with Jesus today. Jesus is not a physical person, but are we missing the signs that God is sending us? Do we take the time to listen to God and to see the signs that he's sending us? And I think that's important it's definitely important for Christians, but it's also important for non-Christians as well, because God can speak to you. God does speak to you. But are we listening? Are we paying attention? And I think, that's the important thing today. Jesus says, do you still not get it? And that's a challenge for us over this weekend. Are we still not getting it? So I'm going to leave it there, and we're back with Jess on Monday. Now, I will put the verse in the comments below. Now, don't forget, if the kids have gone back to school, if you've gone back to work this week and you've missed some of our daily devotions at 7:30 in the morning, because it's right at the time where you should be getting ready, really, isn't it? You can catch them all on a playlist all together in... You're welcome, Emma. You can catch them all in one playlist, all in one place on our YouTube channel. So you can pretend it's Netflix and you can binge watch them all the way from the start up to where we are now. And obviously over the next however long we're going to be doing this for, we will add them all. So you'll eventually get the whole of Mark's Gospel and your daily devotions in one place. So I'll link our YouTube channel at the bottom as well. And don't forget what Meg said, if you do want a Bible, if you don't have one and you would like one to keep, to follow us along, please get in touch with us and we'll see what we can do. If you're a Welsh speaker, we do have Mark's Gospel, just Mark's Gospel, so not the whole Bible, just Mark's Gospel in Welsh. So we can send you some of those as well. Okay, so have a lovely weekend and we'll see you on Monday. Take care. Bye.